Welcome to the Leverton on Everything podcast. I'm Leverton, and this is everything. That's the first rule. I literally review everything. And the second rule of the podcast is that every review that I do is under 10 minutes long. And today I'm reviewing The Billionaire, The Butler, and The Boyfriend. I gave it 8 out of 10 stars. Sad, but unsurprising. Also, her family has been bribing politicians of all political stripes since before the Second World War. And something that was not mentioned at all in this documentary is that she was the person who lost the most money to Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme. That's the fascinating thing about this documentary. This woman had more money than she could have possibly ever spent in her life, and yet she and those she was surrounded by were constantly trying to buy influence and help her evade taxes. I mean, even if she spent 90% of her yearly income on tax, she would still be one of the richest people. Even if she had spent 90% of her yearly income on tax, she would have been still one of the richest people alive at the time. And while it is sad that she was taken advantage of when she was older because she had Alzheimer's, the crazy thing is that the people who took advantage of her the most were put on trial. But neither she nor her family were ever charged or convicted of any crime related to tax evasion in France. The French president she bribed was charged with that crime, got out of it, and was so corrupt that he was convicted of a different crime. But the richest woman in the world was not charged with any crime. That should be unbelievable, but unfortunately, it's not. And the French president is Nicolas Sarkozy, and there's another great series about him and his downfall. But yeah, she bribed him. So she, or at least the people around her, bribed him so that she wouldn't have to pay taxes. And she owned like a literal island in Indonesia or something. Not like one of these small islands, but like an island with like, I was going to say peasants, but I meant like servants. But yeah, peasants. So she was so rich. And the documentary goes on about the fact that she was exploited. And I think this happened twice to her where she got taken advantage of people who were much younger than her, and she believed that she was in some kind of relationship with them, and her mind was deteriorating slowly over time. But the crazy thing is, she lost, as I said, the most money to Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme. And if you don't know about that story, that is the largest Ponzi scheme in the history. And a Ponzi scheme is basically like this investment fraud where the investors at the beginning are so the investors who come in are paying the original investors, and there's not actually an investment. So that just shows you how incredibly greedy her family is, because she literally was I guess the queen would have been the richest person in the world, but she was one of the richest women in the world. And her family is still like more, 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 give us more. That's the crazy thing about that. It's not crazy. Talking about TV series and movies and other things with your son, with your child. That's what I do on a podcast called the Everything and More Etc. podcast, which you can check out where fine podcasts are served. Thank you. Bye.